How's it going, you guys? The 1MFP here. I hope you're all having a great day today. It's time for me to react to a fifth song off of Tyler Joseph's No Phun Intended. The fifth song I have on the track list here is Taken by Sleep. And I've got to say, when scanning through the track listing for No Phun Intended, this is probably one of those songs that stuck out the most to me. You know, sleep and the nighttime have been referenced quite heavily throughout all 21 Pilots albums. You know, if we start from the self-titled album, it's literally part of the album's artwork. And then if we fast forward to Trench, you know, sleep is definitely referenced there as well. As early as Levitate, we have him saying, cowards only come through when the hour's late and everyone's asleep, mind you. So basically, having a song here on No Phun Intended that references sleep, I'm interested to see how it relates to some of that later content. And of course, if you're new to this channel, welcome to MFP Reacts. My name's Matt. I post reaction videos on this channel, so if you enjoy that type of content and you like what you see in this video, please take the time to check out some of my other reactions, and if you enjoy those, please hit that subscribe button. I always appreciate the support. Now let's get right into this reaction. Taken by Sleep off of No Phun Intended by Tyler Joseph.
This is a story about a scarlet letter.
It just hit me as I lay my head down. No one around in the dark cold night. I hear a sound in my head. Repeat track of everything you've ever said. It's more, crack the door to the hallway of my dreams, but it seems in my hallway keeps closing in on me, forcing me out, making me think about you and how you're gone. I see 405, the teary eyes, and then I write the song. And I just can't believe it has to be this way. You know we say, it seems to me that it was just the other day. And I know it might be a little selfish for me to say, but I need to know if you thought of me at all today. Cause every day walk past the place you left 5 days of the week, and now it's 10 after 4, and I am taken by sleep. Spending hours on end deciding what I'd say to a friend if I ever saw him again. Cause I don't know if I know it, I wanna come across the wrong way. And I don't know if I know it, I know I wanna see your face today. And somebody told me they saw you cry and break down. Do you know how hard that is to get around and think about? You know they say, it seems to me that it was just the other day. I saw your face, I saw your light, you ran the race, you fought the fight. And now it's all being torn down for me tonight. And I know it might be a little selfish for me to say, but I need to know if you thought of me at all today. Cause every day we're past the place you left 5 days of the week, and now it's 10 after 4, and I am taking my sleep. I'll sing a song to you, my friend. I'll sing a song to you, my friend. I'll sing a song to you, my... Let's go!
Alright, so there we have it. Taken by Sleep. So far in No Phun Intended, I was definitely impressed with the quality of the music, you know, both from the standpoint of the musical experience as well as the lyricism. Now, I would say that this is the first song off of No Phun Intended that felt like the mixing took away from the song in general. It felt like the instrumentals overpowered Tyler's vocals, and what he's saying in this song, it feels really powerful, and I was just doing my best to pick up on what he's saying, but it just felt like the instrumentals were getting in the way of that. So where it felt like the words should have been at the forefront of the song, having the instrumentals take over, it felt like it took away from the listening experience for me. But with that said, the song starts off with him saying this is a story about a scarlet letter. So this could have very well been written in a way where, you know, he was nervous about what he had to say. So it could have been a conscious decision for him to drown out his voice as much as possible. You know, he could have been seeing it as a musical choice to hide behind the music, and that would better portray where he was at when writing this song. If that's the case, this was a clever approach, but it did feel like it took away from the listening experience. To get into the lyrics of this song, it's a really emotional one. It appears to be a song where Tyler's talking about a friend he's lost. You know, in the intro, again, he talks about it being a story about a scarlet letter. So it's something that he's probably nervous to talk about. It's probably difficult for him to talk about it. The very first verse suggests that he's kept up at night by the thoughts about this friend. It just hit me as I laid my head down, no one around in the dark, cold night. I hear a sound in my head, repeat track of everything you've ever said. So he's reminiscing on his past with this friend. He's trying to fall asleep, but he's kept up by these thoughts. But I find it really interesting because he ends off this verse with him saying, forcing me out, making me think about you and how you're gone. I see 405 with teary eyes, and then I write this song. So, you know, there comes a point where he's trying to confront these thoughts. He's writing this song despite knowing how late it is. He's writing this song knowing how emotional it's making him feel. I think it shows us that he's not trying to repress these thoughts. Then with verse 2, we're given insight into what these thoughts are. Spending hours on end deciding what I'd say to a friend if I ever saw him again, because I don't know if I know, don't want to come across the wrong way. I don't know if I know, but I know I want to see your face today. And I think another thing that fits into what's being said here in verse 2 comes in the chorus. I know it might be a little selfish for me to say, but I need to know if you thought of me at all today. So what I find especially interesting here is we have some insight into the type of thoughts that keep Tyler up at night. 21 Pilots music, a lot of it sheds light on negative thoughts and how they're fueled by insecurities. In Blurry Face, we essentially have a character that is created to help us understand those insecurities. It allows us to better examine those insecurities, and above all else, it gives us a reason to confront those insecurities. Then with Trench, a world is created to give us a certain sense of control over those insecurities. Now, if we relate all of that to the use of nighttime and the use of sleep in 21 Pilots music, Tyler mentions how those negative thoughts tend to be especially pervasive in the nighttime. Sleep would put an end to those thoughts. Sleep would put an end to the nighttime and you would be waking up in a new day. But now to touch on this song, Taken by Sleep, there's a line in the chorus where he says, "'Cause every day I walk past the place you left 5 days of the week." So I don't know if that's the place this person worked or the place this person went to school. Either way, it shows that Tyler thinks about this person all the time. But what's really interesting about it is in this nighttime setting, he's saying, in my head, repeat track of everything you've ever said. Must be something, but it's nothing, so I just go back to bed. It's 4, crack the door to the hallways in my dream, but it seems my hallway keeps closing in on me, forcing me out, making me think about you and how you're gone. You know, if he's passing by the place he used to see this person at every day, he's not actively repressing thoughts about this person. But in the scenario described in this song, you know, 4:05 a.m. and he's trying to fall asleep, that's when the more haunting thoughts start debilitating Tyler. He's saying things like, I need to know if you thought of me today. He's essentially obsessing over questions he won't get answers to. And you know, while this song separates itself from the other No Phun Intended songs in that, you know, he's talking about a friend or he's talking to a friend, whereas in the other songs it appeared like he was talking to God. Here we have a theme that connects this song to the other songs. You know, those unanswered questions are what keep him up at night. And I think it is really important to think about how Tyler isn't repressing the thoughts about this friend. The title of the song is Taken by Sleep. If we look at other 21 Pilots songs, it is suggested that sleep puts an end to those negative and haunting thoughts. Like the first thing that comes to mind is in Ode to Sleep, how he says, "Why am I not scared in the morning?" And this comes right after him talking about the struggle in the nighttime. This just shows that in this cycle of the day where the nighttime represents a time where those negative thoughts really haunt Tyler, sleep puts an end to those thoughts, and then he wakes up in a new day, and in the morning he's not as scared as he was in the nighttime. But then with songs like Car Radio and Morph, it seems to be suggested that falling asleep because of those thoughts is like repressing those thoughts. With Car Radio, he said there's faith and then there's sleep. Faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is for us to be alive. If we relate that to Morph, where he talks about what are we here for if not to run straight through our tormentors, and he talks about not being able to go above, below, or around them. It just seems to me that Tyler actively thinks about these issues because he feels there's no way to escape them. You know, if you repress them, they're going to affect you one way or the other. And to bring it back to the Car Radio line, you know, we're talking about sleep and alive. So he's talking about sleep as if we're dead in our sleep. I think the comparison he's going for is conscious versus unconscious, where conscious is alive. I think what really inspires me to make that connection is him using thinking and alive together. I really think he's thinking about alive as in conscious. And when we're sleeping, it's really the unconscious mind that takes control of us, whereas the conscious mind goes to sleep. So I feel like he might be saying that he's avoiding sleep and that he's trying to avoid repressing fears, because he knows if he represses fears, he won't be going through them. Those fears will be coming back to haunt him. They may exit his conscious mind, but they'll still be affecting him through his subconscious. So to bring this back into Taken by Sleep, maybe he's obsessing over these questions he has because he feels that without a conclusion, he can't move forward. So he'd rather just stay awake and try to come to some kind of conclusion, but then he's taken by sleep. And yeah, that's what I think of Taken by Sleep by Tyler Joseph off of No Phun Intended. We have an emotional song where Tyler's talking about a friend that he seems to have lost. Throughout the song, Tyler alludes to the fact that, he thinks about this friend a lot. He talks about passing by the place he's seen his friend in the past at. But I think what we have in this song, especially with a title like Taken by Sleep, we see the type of thoughts relating to this friend that keep Tyler up at night. With a title like Taken by Sleep, it feels like Tyler feels robbed of the answers to those questions. He feels like if he thinks about it enough, he'll eventually get to a conclusion, but the problem is he eventually falls asleep and then he wakes up in a new day and these thoughts just kind of go away. It's not that he doesn't think about the friend anymore, it's that he doesn't think about these questions as much. They're kind of just in the background. He still wonders probably, but he's not fighting as much to get those answers, and maybe he's not debilitated as much by those questions. So I found the song carried a really powerful message. I do feel that the mix here kind of took away from that. It just felt like the rap needed to be at the forefront of the sound here. But regardless of that, very powerful song. I feel like it fits in really well with the other 21 Pilots songs that talk about the nighttime and that talk about sleep. And it gives us insight into why sleep is an important thing, but how it can work against Tyler in certain ways. And yeah, that's what I thought of Taken by Sleep. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I always love hearing what you guys have to say. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I always appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day, y'all.